discussions like these are so good because depression takes on all forms. There's different elements. We might revisit the topic. There's different elements. I want to touch on what it's been like for you to raise your siblings and how I know how the finding work in the conversation we're having, how that's going to affect that and where you need to go with that. Dating, how depression, trying to do this on your own.
I've seen the dating world, and it is a sad...
Equally frightening.
Exactly. It's sad. It's just sad how we're at a point in life where people just accept anything because they don't know how worthy they are.
Or they need something and it's been so long that they just take whatever they see.
And that too.
And you're 20-something. Imagine if you're past that and you're trying to find a spouse in the way the world is going. And living in LA, because everything is buffet style. Let's take this one, let's take that one. Ooh, and then my belly is too full because I picked too much on my plate. And so now, it's a very hilarious scenario, but that's what it looks like,
And then the number one thing I see people on the most is dating apps.
Yes.
And you don't get to genuinely know the person. You talk through the technology, the phone.
Again, behind a screen. This is a job interview, and I can't see your face. Maybe the face you put up on the app or whatever is different. But again, it's a job interview, right? I'm not trying to interview you for a job. The job is to date me or, whatever. It's frightening. So being depressed, and for some of us whose personalities are more reclusive and independent, and we know if we got to get something done, we're from the area where you got to do it yourself type thing. We reclude. And I find myself recluding a lot, becoming a recluse. And I go to work and I do my volunteer and I go to worship and I go home. And that too is not healthy. So therein is another segment of the depression that I think we could, talk a bit about and how we have to juggle, because the self-care, opening all of this up and then talking about it and then maybe putting out ways that we can take care of each other. And again, I love that you get the point of let's help each other. Whichever generation we're in, millennials, generation H, generation X, Y, Z, whatever it is, let's help each other so that we're better able to function together because we have to. The older ones, the people 35 and up, we have to conform to the 21 and the 29-year-old businesses, because that's what the world is becoming, right? And the technology. So help me to conform, and you in the meantime being willing to grow, right? And it's hard to say, like nobody's saying that. So depression,
yeah. And again, back on the age groups, I notice people in their 20s don't like to be told what to do because it's part of what society's telling us to become. And I hung out with older ones and I've learned a lot. And this is why people my age don't understand where I'm coming from. The only thing they've ever known is the party life and what they're majoring in or their degree is. And they do a little research on other things, but they don't see what the different generations between older,
because they're not connecting. Everything is still singular. It's all about me. I'm entitled to this, and it's about me. So again, going back to the point of being all into the gadgets and it's singular. It's linear. So they're not widening out. They're not connecting like you've had opportunities to connect around the community and even in our spiritual community. But a lot of them, they don't know what that means to have friendships that you're not texting with, that you actually sit down for tea and coffee and have a conversation with. And I pray that more people my age will try to get that with the young people and invite them along and say, put away your phone. Let's have a conversation for a half hour. And have that engaging. So much stimulation. Like so much stimulation is happening right now because we're having this conversation where people would have missed out maybe on that, right? And I think that's important to have is a consistent stimulation and know where you are, accept where you are, and being open and willing to grow beyond that. I am open and willing to grow in order to learn the technologies and whatever is going on and not condescend Even though sometimes it will appear that way. I apologize if it ever feels like I condescend to the 20-somethings. but it's like staying willing to learn and to rise up. And you don't have to get to the level we are, but look at my experience. Having gone through the roles of the transitioning and always reinventing myself, which is where you are. You have to reinvent yourself. And again, I am going to have to reinvent myself to get out of this stuck space, this terrifyingly stuck space. And it's stuck from every direction. Spiritually, financially, you talk about being stuck, I am there, right? So it's being able to find places where I can reinvent me without too much of a compromise of the experience that I've gone, and without too much backtracking either. Because the other side of depression is we can recede so far,
right,
that we repeat old behavior and bad behavior that never served us, or we gravitate towards the relationships or the things that don't serve us because it's easier than being stuck. You know what I mean? So a lot of that we will probably, hopefully, find a lot of meat in this segment with depression and whatever our truth is for that day to be able to discuss that. Well, we should pause for now so we can give Julio an opportunity to go potty. And we'll pick up on this again, and hopefully we'll bring along a couple of the people who will have their 5-minute segment. We did talk a lot today because I think we had time and we're testing this, but maybe we can, this will give us some ideas on variations of depression and whatever that truth is for me, that time to be able to discuss that within like 3 to 5 minutes, so this segment can be a little bit short.
And that actually be good because since we're talking about depression, it's broad.
Broad.
And there's, like you said, there's different, reasons for depression. And we can focus on one reason one time and then the next time another one, because everyone goes through different things. Not everyone lives the same life.
And from the man's standpoint, once we get Julio on camera, it'll be a completely different thing. Maybe relatable to some of what we're doing, but at the same time, from a man's viewpoint, something different. So we'll incorporate that next time.
Well, everyone can relate to this.
Well, thank you for the conversation. Thank you so much for being here today. I think we have a lot of stuff to work with, and I hope I can continue to be big sister despite whatever happens.
Oh, you'll always be big sister.
Yes. Love. All right. That's it. Until next time, this is Jael and Stephanie. Well, let's talk. Whatever your truth is that day, hopefully we can be a part of that.